Hi everyone, welcome to the Muster Drill. I'm Scott, and today I'm going to talk about the fine print in Royal Caribbean and Carnival's recent announcement about the end of testing. Hi everyone, welcome back. So tell me you were not as excited as I was when Royal Caribbean and Carnival recently announced that they were ending the pre-cruise testing. Even though it's just for short voyages right now, I'm really excited about the announcement and I'm really looking forward to it being expanded to longer sailings. And of course, there always has to be fine print in everything, and there are quite a few hoops that we all still have to jump through, so I'm gonna try to break it all down today. Now, I found this really great comprehensive list at Travel Weekly, and it was updated on July 29th, so it seems like it's the latest information, and it does a really great job of showing all of the COVID protocols for most of the destinations that the average cruise is going to travel to. And from what I can tell, it looks like possibly the DR and definitely Bermuda and Canada are the holdouts on this entire situation, which is a real bummer for me because I'm about to get on the Adventure of the Seas for a 5-day cruise to Bermuda. So there's still a whole bunch of hoops that I have to jump through in order to be able to get on that ship and go. Now, Bermuda has this special website where you go and you apply for travel authorization to enter the country. Now, Jamaica and some other Caribbean nations were doing that very early on in the pandemic. And it looks like Bermuda decided that they were going to actually put that requirement in place in 2022, which in my opinion is a complete total money grab. But in any event, it's a $40 fee to apply for this authorization. Now, the timeline for that had been 7 days up until recently. They expanded it to be 30 days prior to your sailing. But you basically go there, you fill it out, you pay a $40 fee, and then you wait for them to email you the authorization. And it's just one more thing you have to bring with you to the cruise port and show as you're checking in and getting on the ship. Getting into the details that I mentioned earlier, it's still very complicated, convoluted. There's a bunch of stuff to keep straight in your mind. So rather than get it all confused, I'm going to read it here. Now, this is from Carnival's website. As of August 4th, there'll be no pre-cruise testing for fully vaccinated guests booked on cruises with itineraries 5 days or less. Pre-cruise testing for itineraries 6 nights or longer can be conducted up to 3 days before departure, except where the destination requirements differ, and that unfortunately is Canada and Bermuda. Now, another welcome addition to this new policy is that if you are vaccinated but not boosted, you can get your antigen test within 72 hours now instead of the previous 48. 72-hour testing window only applies to Carnival. Royal Caribbean has always and is still maintaining their 48-hour testing window regardless of the circumstances. Now, I'm going to put a screenshot from an email that I received from Carnival that was sent to travel partners that shows a date range of August 4th to December 31st, 2022 for this change in testing for short cruises, 5 days and less. Royal Caribbean's date, I believe, is August 8th and Carnival's is August 4th. However, there was an interview with Royal Caribbean's new CEO, Jason Liberty, in which he mentioned that they expect to expand this no testing rule to 6-day and longer cruises within the next 30 to 45 days. So that's really amazing news, and I'm really hoping that that does happen in that time frame because that would be amazing for a bunch of cruises I have coming up. No word whether or not Carnival will go back on the fact that they've already stated that this new change will be in effect to December 31st, 2022. Of course, they can always change their mind anytime. There's nothing stopping them from doing that, and hopefully they will. I'll put a link in the description to all the information that I was talking about today, and hopefully we will see an end to COVID testing really soon. So moving on, I wanted to talk a little bit about a brand new port that Carnival is developing on Grand Bahama Island. Now, if you've ever been on a cruise that stops at Freeport, you know that it's not an exciting destination. So if there was ever a place that needed a new updated port, it's Grand Bahama Island or Freeport. So Carnival is developing a new port on Grand Bahama Island. For now, they're just calling it Grand Port, and there's still not a lot of information that's been released about it, but there is a rendering of what it's going to look like, so I'll put that up here on the screen so you can have a look at it. Looks like the pier is going to be able to accommodate up to 2 XL class ships at the same time. Now, it looks like Grand Port is going to be similar to Mahogany Bay in Roatan, Honduras, but unlike Mahogany Bay, it looks like Grand Port is going to have some type of pool or lazy river, lazy river combination. So that's pretty exciting. When Royal Caribbean redid their private island in the Bahamas, they added a pool, and it's definitely a welcome addition to that entire destination. So there was a recent event that they held on Grand Bahama Island where a lot of the business leaders and environmental leaders and the local press and everything came to see some information and hear about plans for the new port. And I found it very interesting to learn that the Bahamians have what they call a Christian council. And the Christian Council is often consulted by the Bahamian government on all kinds of issues. So naturally, the Christian Council was there and they weighed in on the new project. So the Bahamians are really excited because, of course, this is going to bring a lot of local jobs, and there's going to be a lot of local businesses and a lot of opportunities for the Bahamians to set up shops there and to sell goods and do excursions. And it's going to be all kinds of new things happening there. So like I mentioned, there's still not a lot of information about it, but as more information becomes available, we'll talk about it in a future video. And the last thing I want to talk about today is the Norwegian Pearl was reported to have struck a fishing vessel called the Gabby G. Now, I don't have a lot of details about it, but I do have a brief news broadcast from a Boston news station. So I'm going to show the video and then I'll come back and talk a little bit more about it. So here's the video.
And Nathalie, that cruise ship left the Black Falcon terminal just after 4 yesterday, and the Coast Guard is confirming that a fishing boat actually hit that cruise ship just hours after it set sail. Now you're looking at images of the massive Norwegian Pearl cruise ship before it headed to Bermuda. The Coast Guard says they received a call around 2:25 Friday morning that the Gabby G fishing boat hit the cruise ship. That crash happened east of Nantucket, and authorities say there was minimal damage to the cruise ship, but the fishing boat did sustain significant damage and was taken to New Bedford. A passenger who was on board of the cruise ship says the captain has not given them any information and describes the moment the crash happened.
The seas were relatively calm, and then all of a sudden the ship just started going to the side. We are not being told completely what has been happening. Even if nothing happened, we'd like to be able to know that something has not happened, but just lack of transparency has been a little bit worrisome.
The Coast Guard says it was rainy at the time of the collision and has no details as to what led up to the crash. One person was injured on that fishing boat, but no one on the cruise ship was injured. We're live in Boston. Danae Bucci, WCVB News Center 5.
Wow, never a dull moment on cruise ships these days. So I guess the alarm sounded on the Norwegian Pearl and the ship listed over to one side really badly, but nobody was injured and it continued on its way. So we're glad that that was just a minor incident, and I'm really glad that nobody on the fishing boat was hurt, because that boat was obviously much smaller than the Norwegian Pearl and it could have been a lot worse than it was. So I think that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in. And if you like this video, don't forget to click that like button, and then don't forget to click the subscribe button. It won't cost you anything. You click it once and you're done, and it'll really help us out a lot. And then don't forget to click that notification bell so that you know every time we upload a new video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.